What is that? Ming's figure reappeared from the void, squinting as he gazed at the eerie radiant wheel within the mouth of chaos. A sense of unease flooded his mind. Cover him. A deep, cold voice suddenly erupted from the powerful beings in this world. In the next moment, Mu Yingying, Yun, Duan Qifei, and other formidable warriors, including the Devourer of Souls, transformed into illusions. They unleashed a monstrous offensive, charging toward the Doomsday Storm with ruthless intent. Hidden behind the Doomsday Storm in the mouth of chaos, countless evil energy currents continuously spread outward. At this moment, a minuscule figure stood firm within. The blazing flame wheel shielded the figure's body. His expression was grim, wearing a tin-colored molten flame garment. Countless holy and powerful energies transformed into celestial fire feathers, casually scattering around him. As the fire feathers fell, the black sand particles in the surrounding world seemed to be shaken by some unseen force. They began to hum as if called by some attraction. Even the black sand particles already embedded in countless warriors' bodies quietly surged out, rushing toward this figure in a relentless wave. Hoo-hoo! The massive flame wheel beneath his feet radiated tin-colored sacred flames, with faint traces of blood-ink evil power emerging from his body. At that moment, he resembled an invincible demon king who had broken his shackles. His arms and skin shimmered with 10 kinds of eerie energy halos, slowly emanating a terrifying power that made even heaven and earth tremble with fear. What an arrogant fool, unaware of the true scale of things. Seeing this, Ming sneered ominously, his hands twisting the 8 evil orbs as a strong, ruthless killing intent radiated from his eyes. Even he dared not venture too deep into the center of the nether abyss, but Xiaoyan's actions were nothing short of courting death. That's Xiaoyan, the master of the boundless fire domain? But his power seems to be slowly devoured by the evil mouth. Countless powerful figures let out thunderous roars, their faces filled with astonishment, mingled with both excitement and concern. On their faces, demonic blood ink patterns began to burn and coil, while golden blood slowly emanated an overwhelming force capable of shaking the past and present. It seemed as though Xiaoyan now contained an endless well of heaven and earth's power. Under his control, these forces began to awaken slowly. Once these powers fully awakened and exploded, even the mouth of the nether abyss might have to retreat before their might. Ying, looking at the emaciated figure being tortured in the mouth of the nether abyss, Yun's beautiful eyes tightened, a mixture of crimson and sorrow lingering in her nostrils as she cried out, "Vroom, vroom, vroom." At Yun's call, a holy and ethereal heavenly flame enveloped the 2 women's bodies. The blazing fire rose slowly, suddenly breaking through the infinite void to strike toward the shadow within the mouth of the nether abyss. The 2 women's faces turned pale as their internal energy dissipated in an instant. They lifted their somewhat pale and exhausted faces, fixated on the figure in the mouth of the nether abyss. That figure represented the hope of countless souls. Pinnacle immortal arts, soul-devouring technique. The Devourer of Souls struck first. Pinnacle immortal arts, thunder silence, gate of heaven and earth. Thunder Lord gritted his teeth, his offensive weakening subtly, for otherwise, an attack exceeding the level of pinnacle immortal arts would inevitably harm Xiaoyan. Thousand mechanism ghost umbrella. At this point, countless terrifying attacks surged forth, sweeping over this sea of evil beings. The entire world trembled as massive assaults blotted out the sun. Flame mantra, third realm, burning mortal flesh. More and more demonic blood patterns slowly crawled across Xiaoyan's body. A beastly roar, like a vicious predator, suddenly erupted from his mouth. His body bathed in a wondrous state, as if at that very moment, he possessed an inexhaustible godly power. Xiaoyan felt as though a complex aura was swirling around his skin, standing on the threshold of an immortal body. Rip! Around Xiaoyan, 10-colored sacred flame origins and blood ink demonic radiance began to gather, and regardless of the catastrophic energy that was about to burst forth, there was no discomfort, only the feeling of his body nearly exploding. His eyes, blood ink in color, slowly opened, his dark green, demonic hair wildly growing, almost occupying half of the mouth of the nether abyss. Bare, naked toes gently stepped into the mouth of the nether abyss, which could not be destroyed. It trembled, sending faint cracking sounds echoing from within. On Xiaoyan's chest, the fusion of tin-colored sacred flames and demonic radiance became increasingly brilliant. With every step he took, the divine and demonic flames scorched the void within the mouth of the nether abyss. At this moment, the mouth of the nether abyss seemed to instinctively fear. The towering black sand particles gathered, continuously slanting toward Xiaoyan, attempting to cover and fill him. But what good would that do? The demonic power, black sand particles, and dark matter were all part of one entity. The actions of the mouth of the nether abyss were nothing short of self-destruction. The fusion continued. It's working. The spread of the mouth of the nether abyss has suddenly slowed down. This world, this doomsday storm, is rapidly weakening, collapsing. A wild joy of survival after calamity quietly surged in the heart.
Attack.
Give it everything. In an instant, countless powerful figures' eyes turned crimson once more. All their power surged out in a moment, launching without hesitation. Gazing upward, it seemed as though everyone could see a monstrous, demonic figure slowly filling the mouth of the nether abyss. The attacks hovering in its palm were suffocating and chilling to the bone. The fusion of blazing flames and demonic energy caused the Doomsday Storm to collapse in an instant. Moreover, because of Xiaoyan's actions, the bodies of countless evil armies began to flicker, as if they might completely dissipate at any moment. They were all products of the mouth of the nether abyss, and now that the mouth was facing unprecedented danger, they were naturally affected. No. Impossible. How could mortal power possibly challenge my perfect plan? At this moment, Ming's sinister face contorted into a grimace. He couldn't believe that his flawless plan was being destroyed by a mere peak five-fold reincarnation stage existence, and the blood-ink hue on Xiaoyan's body sent a cold shiver down Ming's spine. Open your eyes and see who I am. In an instant, the entire world fell eerily silent, followed by a furious roar that reverberated through heaven and earth. Impossible. You can absorb dark matter? Ming's face shrank in horror, his fear palpable. Dark matter could not be resisted. What was Xiaoyan? Your so-called perfect plan is laughable. This is where you meet your end. Scatter, mouth of the nether abyss. Xiaoyan's fury surged, and the strange blood-ink glow around him began to spread. The rolling flames, the soaring black sand particles, and even the tiny stone, which resembled a heart and lay quietly in Xiaoyan's palm, were all summoned and guided by him, quietly tossed toward the mouth of the nether abyss. The small stone, forged from the fusion of tin-colored sacred flames and demonic radiance, appeared insignificant, no larger than a grain of sand. But the moment it entered the mouth of the nether abyss, it stirred up monstrous waves in this world. Boom! A deafening sound echoed, shocking to the soul. Even the indestructible mouth of the nether abyss began to collapse, crumbling. This attack has reached the level of a demigod-class combat technique? Looking at this scene, Thunderlord's heart churned, his eyes filled with disbelief. Such a level of combat technique was impossible for someone at the five-fold reincarnation stage to execute. With the explosion, countless powerful beings looked up, stunned, as they watched an unforgettable scene unfold in the sky. Above the sky, a dazzling energy shockwave spread out from the mouth of the nether abyss. It was as if some enormous creature had violently collided with the sky, and countless voids collapsed instantly. The heavens and earth cracked, mountains and rivers shook, and vast mountain ranges spanning countless miles collapsed with a thunderous roar. The eerie blood-ink mist, the boiling blood-colored lava, instantly replaced the endless evil power emanating from the mouth of the nether abyss. The two forces poured down from the entire sky. In the sky, a rift appeared, as though it had been torn open by Xiaoyan's strike. Even Thunder Lord's proud thunder of heaven and earth could not create such an astonishing spectacle. No. Impossible. At this moment, Ming's eyes turned crimson, a frenzy of rage surging within him. How could this be? His perfect plan, which had taken him 1,000 years to prepare, was so close to succeeding. How could it be destroyed by Xiao alone? But whether Ming believed it or not, when that stone entered the mouth of the nether abyss, the void leading to the netherworld vanished completely. Now, the space collapsed and swayed like fractured rocks in the void, and scorching waves of divine flames continuously surged from the rift in the sky. The world's evil aura and dark matter were now being roasted and purified by the scorching sacred flames. A thin, dark figure stood silently atop the mouth of the blazing flames, his gaze fixed firmly on the snarling figure high in the sky. The mastermind behind this calamity, the Realm Lord Ming. Your plan has completely failed. Xiao spoke, his voice brimming with an undeniable aura of murderous intent. It was as if the figure standing before Ming was no longer a human at all. It was the breath of blazing flames, the true supreme overlord. Yet, no matter how intense the sacred flames swirled within the mouth of the blazing flames, Xiao felt no burden whatsoever. A golden halo quietly emerged from within him, spreading across his skin. In an instant, the searing flames were transformed into the sharpest of blades in his hand. Humph! Xiao, don't think that just because you've disrupted my plan, I'll be so easily defeated. At this moment, Ming's face twisted in madness as he stared up at the untouchable Xiao. He had once been the greatest victor of this calamity, but now he had lost, utterly, with nothing left. However, being cautious by nature, he had long prepared an escape route. Given time, he would wipe out Xiao and everyone who had thwarted his plan, avenging this humiliation. This man had survived the combined explosion of the tin flames and demonic radiance. Wait until my return, and all of you will die. A maniacal laugh echoed, and behind him, a massive evil mouth suddenly appeared. The evil mouth, resembling a time-space vortex, was an enigma. No one knew where he was fleeing to. Not good. Seeing this, Xiao cried out in alarm. He had just prepared to unleash his immense power to intercept, but it was too late. See you next time? Ming's twisted face relished the change in Xiao expression, from invincible arrogance to sheer discomfort. Yet, he failed to notice the 8 evil orbs trembling slightly in his palm, as though something terrifying was crossing space-time toward them. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Ming, it's over. A voice of relief echoed from the heavens, accompanied by a heart-wrenching scream. A sharp black lightning streaked through the sky, silently entering Ming's body, as if an unexpected guest had invaded. The black shadow rampaged, relentlessly devouring his life. Inyang God-piercing needle? How did you have this in your hands? Feeling the frantic black shadows running rampant within him, Ming's face finally twisted with fear. Ah! The Devourer of Souls, having seized Ming's moment of weakness, summoned all his power, sending forth the black needle. Ming, clutching his head in agony, screamed as his body and soul were gradually consumed, vanishing into nothingness in mere moments. The second evil artifact of the ghost realm, the Inyang God-piercing needle, came without a trace and left without one, its power incomprehensible. Once struck by it, death was certain. But crafting such an evil artifact was no easy feat, requiring the sacrifice of over 1 million restless souls, a truly awe-inspiring process. Little one. After Ming was dealt with, the Devourer of Souls seemed to age hundreds of years in an instant. A black rune, glowing with a ghostly light, floated from his palm. Soul-devouring talisman? Master, what is this? Xiao expression gradually softened. Even with your sacred flame power purifying the area, there still lingers countless sinister and evil auras in this space. Only by devouring them with soul-devouring power can we truly end this farce. The Devourer of Souls spoke, his voice filled with a deep sense of joy. This is a task for me to handle, teacher. No. You need this power more than I do. Little one, catch it." As the words fell, the soul-devouring talisman moved quietly toward Xiao. Boom! In an instant, the devouring force spread, and countless lingering sinister and evil powers howled as they were completely devoured by Xiao. At the same time, Xiao's strength, already at the peak of the 5th reincarnation stage due to the battle and dragon blood, began to surge toward an even more terrifying realm, fueled by the endless evil power. With the battle now over, countless powerful beings exhaled deeply, shouting in unison toward the thin black figure in the sky. Xiao Domain Lord, divine power sweeping through the heavens. In the end, Xiao's strength was fixed at the half-step 6th reincarnation stage, indicating that beyond this stage, even greater power was required. It's over. Yes, it's over. As for the remaining space repairs and other matters, there are those specially assigned to handle them. With the calamity concluded, Xiao's body instantly returned to the ferocious soul domain altar. Looking at the two women before him, he couldn't help but smile. Next time, Mu Yingying's heart warmed as she instantly threw herself into Xiao's embrace, her eyes brimming with tears. Yet, the words she was about to speak got caught in her throat. Next time, together. Yun quietly took Mu Yingying's hand and smiled sweetly. Some high-ranking individuals watched the scene, and they couldn't help but speak out, though their voices were filled with admiration. Descendant of the Xiao clan, master of the boundless fire domain, Xiao. He truly lives up to his title. This great calamity has finally come to an end. Although the boundless fire domain and the entire ghost realm suffered heavy losses, the extraterritorial evil clan also faced tremendous casualties. Moreover, after this battle, the power of the boundless fire domain will likely spread throughout the Great Thousand Worlds. With the battle over, the ghost realm fog, which had lingered around the rift of the ghost realm, was eliminated by the Devourer of Souls and others, reopening countless passageways between the ghost realm and the Great Thousand Worlds. As soon as the passageways were opened, the Azura King of the Celestial Realm, leading part of his army, and the Vice Palace Lord of the Great Thousand Palace, leading additional reinforcements, had already been stationed outside the planar passageways for dozens of days. The Realm Lord of the Ghost Realm had cast a terrifying, sinister ghost aura, an overwhelming demonic array consisting of 600,000 array patterns. Its might was immense, so much so that even the strongest of both sides couldn't open the passage. Thus, they had no choice but to wait. After the Devourer of Souls and the others negotiated with the powers of the two forces, they each returned to the Celestial Realm and the Great Thousand Palace. However, after the Ghost Realm battle, countless powerful beings now understood that the Second Great War of Heaven and Earth had fully begun. Numerous forces had already become vigilant, and the entire Great Thousand Worlds had entered a state of extreme alertness, preparing for the invasion of the extraterritorial evil clan. The Celestial Realm, the Great Thousand Palace, and the Ghost Realm. These three regions were under attack by the extraterritorial evil clan, causing the Great Thousand Worlds to fall into a deadly silence. It seemed no one knew where the next attack would come from. In the Ghost Realm, due to the greed of the Center and others, the entire force was wiped out in this battle. The Ghost Realm's overall strength plummeted, and the situation was as tragic as that of the Celestial Realm Center. Reluctantly, the Thunder Lord took up the role of the new center of the Ghost Realm, stationed at the headquarters of the ferocious Soul Domain. The Devourer of Souls served as the Deputy Realm Lord, wandering throughout the Ghost Realm, dealing with the various dangers and maintaining the order of this realm. As for Duan Qifei and the others, they joined the Ghost Realm Center and awaited orders from the Realm Lord. Thus, the Ghost Realm Center slowly regained some of its vitality. On the second day after the calamity ended, Duan Qifei, Mu Yingying, and Yun were busy in the ferocious Soul Domain and the Ghost Realm Center's Voidland, attending crucial meetings to establish new rules for the Ghost Realm. On the third morning, the three of them stood slowly in the wooden cabin, seemingly discussing something. These are the pills required for the rewards of the supporting experts. Yun, with her meticulous mind, presented several scrolls, densely packed with information. There were nearly dozens of them, large and small, which made Xiao, still recovering from the recent battle, feel a little overwhelmed. Such a number of pills would likely take forever to refine if left to Xiao alone. So many? Mu Yingying frowned when she saw the scrolls, clearly understanding Xiao concerns. With your position as an elder of the Sacred Alchemist Hall of the Celestial Realm, you can retrieve any pills below the 9th grade by yourself, though the quantity shouldn't be too excessive. As for 7th grade pills, there are countless. I'll go fetch some after this is over. The Boundless Fire Domain's Alchemist Hall can help refine some of them too. But these few dozen pills for the White Bone Elder, Cold-Blooded General, and other powerful beings, you'll probably still need to refine them yourself? Yun quickly offered suggestions to Xiao. All right. Xiao sighed softly and temporarily set these matters aside. There was still something very important to take care of. Unless there's anything else, we'll go get busy. After things settle down here in the Ghost Realm, we'll return to the Boundless Fire Domain. You should focus on devouring the evil god's origin, and after refining the chaotic power inside you, try to break through to the 6th reincarnation stage. Yun nodded. Before entering seclusion, there's one more thing. Come with me. Xiao smiled mysteriously, then led the two women slowly toward the residence of the soul-devouring lord. The ugly bride must meet the in-laws, and besides, the Devourer of Souls had an indispensable role in Xiao growth. Teacher. The three of them arrived at a quiet mountain range, where a residence had been specially established for the Deputy Realm Lord of the Ghost Realm Center. After the calamity, the relationship between the Devourer of Souls and the ferocious soul domain had completely been severed, with no remaining grudges. How's the situation? The Devourer of Souls lazily opened the door with a smile, though besides Xiao, there were also two graceful figures standing outside. Little one, who are these two? The Devourer of Souls coughed, seemingly hinting at something to Xiao. The Devourer of Souls was quite familiar with Mu Yingying and knew her identity, but Yun puzzled him. Her figure and appearance aside, in terms of strength, she seemed to be on par with him. Yun, greetings, teacher. The two women's faces flushed slightly, and they gently bit their lips. Along the way, Xiao explanations naturally made them understand the debt of gratitude the Devourer of Souls felt for Xiao recognition. Hee, no worries, no worries. My soul-devouring talisman has already been passed to this brat, and I didn't prepare any grand gifts for our meeting. These two scrolls should match your own top-tier immortal art scrolls, so take them. The Devourer of Souls chuckled, and two exquisite silver scrolls suddenly appeared in his palm. The scrolls exuded a classical and ethereal aura, seemingly ancient. With a flick of his hand, two top-tier immortal arts level combat technique scrolls appeared. Such grandeur was enviable. Thank you, master. The two women exchanged a glance, but didn't hesitate. They each took one scroll, and then stood quietly by Xiao side. Many of the evil artifacts that appeared during this calamity have now found their respective masters. The Netherworld God-piercing needle is under my control. The 10,000 evil prayer beads are temporarily under the control of the Thunderlord, and the Blood River Bell is with Feng Yanghao. Xiao Gui controls the Yin-Yang Tome of the Ghost God, along with your Xiao clan's 10 Yama Kings, guarding the so-called entrance to the Netherworld, which is within the headquarters of the ferocious soul domain. Moreover, countless regions in the Ghost Realm have now been thoroughly investigated, and anyone with unknown origins has been dealt with. A stream of information flowed from the Devourer of Souls in an orderly manner. Thank you, master, and the two ladies. Hearing this, Xiao smiled helplessly. With the catastrophe over, he would return to the ferocious soul domain to recuperate and not get involved in these matters. This battle has left the Ghost Realm heavily damaged, and it will take considerable time for recovery. However, your Boundless Fire Domain, along with Yun Qi, Yuan Yin, and the others, have made their decision. They'll return with you soon. With their strength, they can also assist you in the Boundless Fire Domain, making this trip worthwhile. The Devourer of Souls spoke again. Understood. However, master, what exactly is the entrance to the Netherworld? Xiao still decided to ask. Such matters are better addressed by your Xiao clan's 10 Yama Kings. That place is filled with danger. At your current stage, you should not enter recklessly. The Devourer of Souls spoke calmly, but his body shook slightly when mentioning the netherworld, as though he was deeply afraid. "All right, brat, hurry up and go into seclusion." With the immense power absorbed from the evil god's origin and the soul-devouring talisman, it should be enough for your breakthrough. And at this point, you also need some time to settle and consolidate your power. During this period, we will handle everything for you. The Devourer of Souls glanced at Xiao, who was in disarray, and directly mocked him with a laugh. "Then I'll leave it to you, master, and the two ladies." Xiao laughed heartily and headed towards the secluded room. This time, he needed to truly organize the various forces within him, and the refining of those pills also needed to be completed as soon as possible. "Girl, don't hate me." As soon as Xiao vanished, the Devourer of Souls shook his head, then turned to Mu Yingying beside him. I don't." Mu Yingying pouted, but her stubborn gaze fell directly into Yun's eyes. The power of the Yin-Yang tome is inherently sinister and evil. It's not suited for you. "But I need the power," Mu Yingying said discontentedly. "Power?" The center of the ghost realm once had records of a certain artifact from the human realm that would suit you perfectly. "I just don't know." "Master, tell me." "Hee, don't worry. That thing will naturally wait until my beloved disciple comes out of seclusion to retrieve it for you. After all, he'll be going there sooner or later." At the ferocious soul domain's headquarters, within the extraordinary heaven-breaking pool, Yun, are you really going to do this? At the edge of the vast water pool, two slender figures stood. The two vicious beasts have reached their limits. Their lifespans are coming to an end, and during this calamity, I promised them that I would gather their spiritual consciousness and allow them to fully transform into human form. Yun raised her delicate face and gazed at the Taiji Heavenly Emperor's sword in her palm. Vroom vroom vroom. Rolling thunder quietly surged, filling the space with an overwhelmingly oppressive aura. The Taiji Heavenly Emperor's sword buzzed, and countless energies from heaven and earth began to converge towards it, as though some mighty being was about to descend. Whoosh! Suddenly, the roar of the heavenly dragon and earth phoenix inside the Taiji Heavenly Emperor's sword was followed by the cracking sound of an egg breaking, resounding through the heavens and earth. The immense force from the awe-inspiring scene was slowly absorbed by the Taiji Heavenly Emperor's sword. Did it succeed? Mu Yingying widened her eyes and slowly gazed at a spot of emptiness above the water pool, where an endless flow of life energy surged. Within that aura, there was a powerful force that made her feel uneasy. Boom! Master! A boy and a girl, both childlike in appearance. We've succeeded. Two of them have reached the peak of the 5th reincarnation stage. The laughter of the two girls slowly echoed out. The spirit gathering was a success. From now on, the heavenly dragon and earthly phoenix would truly transform into humans. The two children, now at the peak of the 5th reincarnation stage, the Golden Youth and Jade Maiden, had fully become human. However, if Yun needed them, they could still be summoned with the Taiji Heavenly Emperor sword. Because of their connection to the sword, their souls could leave their bodies to assist Yun. With Yun's own strength at the peak of the 5th reincarnation stage and the Taiji Heavenly Emperor sword in hand, her power had become overwhelmingly vast. After the spirit gathering, the two little ones became remarkably clingy towards Yun, as though they had accepted her as their real mother. This caused quite a stir in the ferocious soul domain. The ferocious soul domain continued to operate smoothly under the leadership of powerful figures such as the Thunder Lord and the Devourer of Souls. Yet, the fall of the 7th evil god from the extraterritorial evil clan did not trigger an immediate full-scale invasion. Instead, it bought the Great Thousand Worlds much-needed time to prepare. Meanwhile, the Endless Fire domain had gained widespread fame, especially with the addition of powerful experts like the White Bone Elder and the Cold-Blooded General. With such reinforcements, the Endless Fire domain had become a formidable force, even among the top powers of the human realm. Among them, the most admired figure was the Lord of the Endless Fire domain. Not only had he acquired the 3rd sacred flame, but he had also thwarted the calamities that threatened both the celestial realm and the ghost realm multiple times. Now, Xiao Yan's fame was likely known throughout the Great Thousand Worlds, No one had failed to hear of him. Time passed like water, flowing quietly. Numerous regions of the ghost realm slowly regained their former appearance, and everything proceeded in an orderly manner. More than half a year passed in this quiet manner. During this time, Xiao seemed to have disappeared from the world, with no news of him. If not for the presence of the origin aura on Yun and Mu Ying that allowed them to sense Xiao safety, they would have already entered his meditation chamber to investigate. In this half-year, the meditation chamber specially prepared for Xiao had been declared the highest-level restricted zone by the upper echelons of the ferocious soul domain, and no one was allowed within 100 meters of it. However, many of the senior figures in the domain were still curious and would occasionally stop to gaze at the chamber, looking up at the space above it. Occasionally, the void above would distort, and rich medicinal fragrances would slowly emanate from within, suggesting that the pills Xiao was refining were likely of a very high grade. What's happening? Suddenly, in the skies high above the headquarters of the ferocious soul domain, a massive burst of colorful thunderous energy crossed the barriers of time and space, slowly descending. The deafening sound of this powerful energy wave caused the entire ferocious soul domain to immediately enter a state of high alert. Is there an enemy invasion? Master, something's wrong. This energy doesn't feel like it belongs to the extraterritorial evil clan. It feels more like the power of the heavenly Tao's shackles. Beside Yun, the pair of childlike boy and girl raised their big watery eyes to stare at the sky, as though they had sensed something. Boom! At the same time, just as everyone was puzzled, a muffled groan suddenly echoed from a quiet spot. Following the sound, an ancient aura, as though it had been dormant for thousands of years, slowly began to awaken. Whoosh! 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 As the enormous disturbance echoed, two figures, resembling divine dragons with no clear heads or tails, appeared silently. The Thunder Lord and the Devourer of Souls. As soon as they appeared in this void, their eyes narrowed, their gazes constantly shifting between the meditation chamber and the skies above the ferocious soul domain. A hint of wild joy slowly emerged in their eyes. Devouring the evil god's origin has allowed him to step into the peak of the spirit-wandering realm, with his 9-layered spirit palace almost filled to the 8th layer. If he can reach perfection and fill all 9 layers, he might even be able to covet the divine soul within that transmission. The Thunder Lord's eyes glimmered with astonishment, clearly perceiving the other fluctuations contained within the power. It's even more than that. The dark matter from the mouth of the nether abyss and the countless wandering souls left behind by the Great War have actually allowed this guy's strength to break through to the 6th reincarnation stage. The Devourer of Souls smiled and shook his head, a tone of contentment in his voice. Boom! The resounding thunderclouds in the sky reverberated with the brilliant sound of the soul, and combined with the power of the 6th reincarnation tribulation, it made even the strongest of warriors break into a cold sweat. The terrifying pressure of both calamities appearing at once was so overwhelming that even the Thunder Lord found it somewhat tricky. As countless powerful figures felt a tightening in their hearts, within the cultivation chamber, endless molten magma flames erupted like a volcano. Then, across the entire sky, a golden dragon, stretching tens of thousands of feet, took form. The golden dragon's body wriggled and undulated, its form surrounded by countless breaths of blazing flames. Its ancient, heavy golden scales covered its body, emanating a terrifying dragon's might that seemed to transcend the very heavens and earth. Roar! The golden dragon let out a fierce roar, its dragon's cry spreading far and wide. The overwhelming power of the dual tribulations in the sky twisted and completely dissipated. What? Watching this swift and decisive action, countless powerful figures couldn't help but feel a chill down their spines. Achieving the pinnacle of the spirit-wandering realm and enduring the 6-fold reincarnation tribulation. The terrifying power of the dual tribulations. Yet in Xiao hands, it seemed like child's play. They naturally didn't know that the flame mantra had already reached its 3rd stage of flesh burning, coupled with the refinement of the Golden Dragon King's bloodline. The mysterious devouring power, the 7 sacred flames, and other forces. For Xiao, The sixfold reincarnation tribulation was nothing to speak of. Good kid. In the high skies of the ferocious soul domain, several major figures appeared. Watching the slender black figure in the sky, the Devourer of Souls and others spoke first. Xiao Yan's body instantly soared from the chamber, his form surrounded by a faint dragon's might. This was the ripple created after completely absorbing the Golden Dragon King's primal blood. Not to mention how terrifying his power was, just his current body alone would leave even a genuine sixfold reincarnation stage powerhouse helpless for a time. The tempering by the Golden Dragon King's primal blood had made Xiao Yan's body terrifyingly powerful. Teacher, this is a 9th grade mysterious pill, the Reincarnation Nirvana pill. It's enough to allow teacher to fully step into the sixfold stage. Ying, these are the reward pills I promised to the cold-blooded general and others, along with several 8th grade pills for Xiao Gue, Mu Feng, and the other heroes of the Ghost Realm battle. A lazy chuckle slowly emerged from the golden dragon, and a round pill silently appeared in front of the Devourer of Souls. Then Xiao Yan casually glanced around and tossed a spatial ring to Mu Ying. Mu Ying nodded and easily accepted it. This thing. The Devourer of Souls stared at the pill suspended in front of him with a peculiar look, somewhat surprised by the wave of energy he sensed from it. It was clear that even with his current power, he could still detect a force that moved him deeply. This pill wasn't made from ordinary herbs or worldly forces. Rather, it was crafted from dark matter and eerie souls. Snore. Watching Xiao Yan act as if nothing was wrong, countless powerful figures from the ferocious soul domain swallowed dryly. Xiao Yan's actions were truly extravagant. 9th grade pills were incredibly rare in the Great Thousand Worlds. Only a few alchemists could refine them. Even 8th grade pills were extraordinarily precious. The fact that Xiao Yan, the domain lord of Xiao, had refined such an immense number of pills while in seclusion was astonishing. His alchemy skills were simply terrifying. Jealousy spread across the hearts of many. If not for Duan Qifei's presence, perhaps all the powerful figures in the ferocious soul domain would have immediately defected to the boundless fire domain. What are you looking at? Go down and continue your cultivation. Prepare for the upcoming heavenly calamity. After a moment of sighing, Duan Qifei's booming voice rang out across the ferocious soul domain. Clearly, she needed to make a resounding statement now to retain their current power. 10 minutes later, in the ferocious soul domain headquarters meeting hall. At this moment, most of the high-ranking officials had gathered. The Tenyamas, Xiao Gue and his family, the cold-blooded general, as well as Yuan Yin, Yun Qi, and other senior figures from the ferocious soul domain. The pills had already been distributed, convincing the cold-blooded general and others to voluntarily join the boundless fire domain. Xiao Domain Lord, now that your injuries have healed, what are your plans next? The entire hall was filled with cheer, but soon, a few powerful figures from the Tribunal Hall and Judgment Hall broke the peace with their voices. The Devourer of Souls and Thunder Lords sat at the highest seats, calmly observing everything. These matters were for the others to handle. As for my plans, not much at the moment. Xiao Yan turned to look and noticed several unfamiliar faces. They seemed entirely different from the ones who controlled the two halls during the previous catastrophe, so he held back his words. In the ferocious soul domain, there were those who conspired against the Devourer of Souls before. They have all been removed from their positions. These are newcomers, but their strength and prestige are not to be underestimated. They are trustworthy. Yun spoke softly, explaining the situation to Xiao Yan. After hearing this, Xiao Yan relaxed a little. Xiao Domain Lord, we have a plan, but we are unsure. Duan Qifei had now taken the lead in the ferocious soul domain, but many matters still required the Tribunal Hall and Judgment Hall to handle. Speak freely. Xiao Yan smiled with narrowed eyes, seemingly having guessed what was coming. Several powerful figures stood with radiant expressions, speaking with conviction. This matter is of utmost urgency. Alliance? At the mention of this, the entire hall erupted in exclamations. Though the leaders of the extraterritorial evil clan and other supreme beings have yet to fully reveal themselves and announce the start of the Second Great War of Heaven and Earth, based on the current situation, The war has already begun. The Great Thousand Worlds is now facing an extremely complicated situation. As for the matter of the Immortal Realm, we have all heard how Lord Xiao and the others managed to turn the tide. Now, they are also saving our Ghost Realm from peril, and forming an alliance is both reasonable and necessary. The group exchanged glances, with Lin listing out a series of crucial updates, awaiting Xiao Yan's response. Alliance? Xiao Yan murmured, not immediately responding. Now that the 10 Yama Kings had returned to normal, and the entrance to the Netherworld had been revealed, he only needed to increase his power to reach the Xiao clan's resting place. However, before that, he would likely have to visit the Immortal Realm and Monster Realm. As for the Alliance, there's no rush. For now, we still need to visit the Monster and Immortal Realms to discuss things further. After we have finalized everything, we will form a stronger alliance. What do you all think? As Xiao Yan was at a loss, Yun quietly spoke up. Then we will wait here for Lord Zhao's good news. As for the alliance, once Lord Xiao gives the word, we can mobilize anything within the Ghost Realm. The powerful figures smiled. At this moment, Yun's eyes subtly shifted towards the Thunder Lord and the Devourer of Souls seated at the head, as if these actions had been prearranged. The people before her were merely following a script. At this point, we will depart tonight for the Boundless Fire Domain. The upcoming days will surely not be peaceful. Xiao Yan bowed to the Devourer of Souls, his words signaling intent. Yun Qi is now an 8th-tier alchemist, and with Yuan Yin and the others, many powerful figures will join you. The 10 Yama Kings and Xiao Gui will stay here, watching the changes at the Netherworld entrance. The Devourer of Souls spoke. All right. One command after another was issued. Girl, come with me. Once the meeting was over and everyone began to leave, the Devourer of Souls acted mysteriously and led Mu Yingying toward his residence. Who? What is this? Saint Flame. Saint Flame 19. Golden Flame Ember? Mu Yingying was beside herself with excitement as she saw the faint golden stone before her, feeling the intense heat emanating from it. When I was traveling through the Ghost Realm and seeking revenge in the Buddhist realm, by chance, I found this Saint Flame and have kept it ever since. Don't tell Xiao Yan about this. The Devourer of Souls grinned. Master, you can give this to Xiao Yan. It would be of great use to him. Mu Yingying's eyes gleamed with stars, her joy apparent. This item is meant for you, not him. The Devourer of Souls spoke mysteriously. Thank you, Master. Mu Yingying sensed something and immediately nodded, then carefully tucked the item away, bidding him farewell. Half an hour later, Xiao Yan and his group left the Ghost Realm and returned to the Boundless Fire Domain. What a biased old guy. The Thunder Lord smiled faintly, watching the Devourer of Souls' stingy actions, then chuckled. However, in her heart, she seemed to be anticipating whether her situation with Xiao Tianming was truly a misunderstanding. The Devourer of Souls watched Xiao Yan and his group leave, offering a helpless smile. This Saint Flame had originally been snatched from a Buddhist realm expert. Unfortunately, it had no significant use for Xiao Yan at this point, so he quietly gave it to Mu Yingying. It was also a way of making up for the debt he felt he owed her, given her involvement in the earlier sacrificial ritual. At the core of the Boundless Fire Domain, surrounded by the most sacred and intense heavenly flames, no evil or demonic creature could hide here. The perilous environment created by Mu Yingying served as the ancient and powerful protection for the Boundless Fire Domain. Inside the Mistress's Hall, Xun'er was currently engrossed in reviewing countless scrolls detailing various matters within the Boundless Fire Domain. These tasks obviously required her personal attention, but the once proud Lady of the Heavens was now deeply troubled. There were just too many issues to handle in the Boundless Fire Domain. Master, the Domain Lord and others have returned safely. Suddenly, a joyful voice came from outside the hall. Let's go. Xun'er's troubled expression vanished in a flash, replaced by a gentle smile as she headed toward the spatial passageway. Who? This is? What a huge group. The White Bone Elder and the Cold-Blooded General, both at the 5th reincarnation stage, along with numerous other reincarnation stage powerhouses, had now fully joined the Boundless Fire Domain and returned with Xiao Yan and the others. With such powerful reinforcements, the foundation of the boundless fire domain had undoubtedly grown stronger. Thank you all for your hard work. Now, you can all take a well-deserved rest, Xiao said to the massive crowd behind him.
Yes.
The resounding voice echoed, and the presence of such a terrifying force was nothing short of luxurious. Xun'er, tomorrow take Yunqi to the immortal realm. You can discuss the alliance with him and, if possible, bring back some pills from the Sacred Alchemist Hall. It would be even better if we can help others reach the 9th grade. Xiao chuckled as he glanced at Yunqi, whose skills as an 8th grade apothecary made him click his tongue in admiration. Thank you, Domain Lord. Yunqi nodded with a smile, naturally agreeing to Xiao arrangement. Also, make sure to search extensively for array scrolls. With Xuan overseeing things here, the boundless fire domain is now a fortress of unassailable flames. Xiao turned to look at the plump, rosy Xuan behind him, laughing lightly. It was clear that when it came to array formation, Xuan was far more skilled than him. Xuan eyes sparkled upon hearing this, but she still stuck out her tongue at Xiao playfully, as mischievous as ever. Beyond this, orders were also issued, discussed among Xiao Yun, and Xun'er, clearly intended to strengthen the boundless fire domain. Ying. As night approached and the matters of the boundless fire domain were settled, Xiao Yun, and Xun'er were the only ones left in the hall. Xiao finally came to his senses and asked in confusion. It seemed that this girl had disappeared right after she arrived in the boundless fire domain through the spatial passage. She went into seclusion. She must have had a breakthrough during her trip to the ghost realm. Yun shook her head, though they didn't know that Mu Ying, after arriving in the boundless fire domain, rushed straight into the secret room to enter seclusion and devour the sacred flame. With the sacred flame from the Devourer of Souls, Mu Ying now had 3 types of sacred flames within her body, and combined with the power of the flame mantra, she was bound to experience a significant power boost. Of course, the innocent and playful Mu Ying would never know that this sacred flame was originally meant for Xiao, but because it was ranked 19th, it had no practical use for him at the moment. Furthermore, due to her sacrifice during the earlier ritual, the Devourer of Souls had given it to her instead. And Kai Lin? After a moment, Xiao spoke again. Sister Kai Lin. She? Upon hearing Xiao question, Xun'er's face instantly turned pale, as if sensing something ominous. Let's go. Xiao immediately stood up and headed toward Kai Lin's residence. Kai Lin was naturally distant, and her residence was in a place among the mountain clouds. What happened here? As soon as Xiao pushed the door open, he saw a frail figure lying weakly on the bed. For the first time, Xiao expression grew serious. At that moment, Kai Lin appeared pale, her body covered with a strange, tin-colored glow that continuously shimmered. As Xiao focused on the tin-colored glow, a shiver ran down his spine. It seemed this power could threaten his life. I'm fine. Don't come closer. Just as Xiao was about to move closer to investigate Kai Lin's condition, her cold voice echoed through the room. Is this the power fluctuation of the tin-colored heaven-swallowing python? At this moment, an expression of disbelief appeared in Yun's eyes. Though Yun and Kai Lin had known each other for a long time, the memories and inherited powers from her master, Xun'er, revealed that the tin-colored heaven-swallowing python was one of the most powerful ancient beasts in the world. Its strength was beyond measure, recognized by heaven and earth. Even the 3-headed divine flood dragon that Yao Ji had tamed could not compare to its terror. This creature was said to be of the same era as the moon god and the floral god, one of the most formidable beings in existence. Now, as Kai Lin's skin radiated with the tin-colored glow, every now and then, snake scales shimmering with tin-colored halos emerged, and the fluctuations they released sent a chill of fear through their hearts. I'm afraid we'll have to go to the center of the monster realm, Xun'er said after watching Kai Lin's pained expression. She gritted her teeth, deciding to speak up. Xun'er, you promised me. As soon as Xun'er finished speaking, Kai Lin angrily rebuked her, though her voice was soft and lacked any real authority. Sister Kai Lin, your condition must be resolved quickly without delay. Now that the boundless fire domain has this level of strength, we can handle even the center of the monster realm. Xun'er spoke stubbornly. Xun'er, Xun'er, please handle the matters of the boundless fire domain in the immortal realm. Tomorrow, I will take Kailin to the monster realm to resolve the issue with the tin-colored heaven-swallowing python. Xiao Yan's face darkened, his brow furrowing in deep concern. Brother Xiao Yan, I've inquired everywhere, but the center of the monster realm is too mysterious and vast, with no way to locate the entrance. Before you depart, Brother Xiao Yan, you can first visit the Black Fiend Dragon Wolf's residence. Xun'er slowly began to speak the information she had gathered. Xiao Yan nodded, his gaze filled with a tenderness as he looked at Kailin, who lay on the bed. I'm fine. Even at this moment, Kailin still spoke indifferently as if nothing was wrong, seemingly unwilling to let Xiao Yan or the others worry about her. But the weakness in her body, the sensation that even her skin, bloodline, and soul were filled with the swirling tin-colored light, hinted at something that seemed to be devouring her. She knew clearly that if the tin-colored power within her wasn't dealt with soon, it would undoubtedly become a hidden danger. Yet, in her memories, she could vaguely sense that this tin-colored power was extraordinary. Even though Xiao Yan had broken through to the 6th reincarnation stage, Kailin didn't want him to risk his life for her. There was a strange feeling deep within her, an intuition that, even with Xiao Yan's current strength at the 6th reincarnation stage, it still might not be enough to deal with the tin-colored power. Worry and fear slowly filled her heart. She turned her head slightly, looking at Xiao Yan and the two women discussing their journey to the demon realm.